Okay, so basically, when you start learning a language, you start with the basis. First is the verb to be. In English, is the verb to be. But in Spanish, it is called ser y estar. So, el verbo ser y estar. So, basically, you had to learn that before starting a language. So, let's write it here. Don't mind my my handwriting. I'm really bad. It's too big, I think. Okay, ser y estar. Basically, verb to be. Okay, let's see. I'm going to erase the. Where is the eraser? Here. This. Okay, like that. Ser, estar. So this is how you start with a language. There you go. Ser, estar. So this could be, but in English we know as verb to be. Yes, but in English we only have one verb, and it is in Spanish. In English it is, right? That's the only verb, is. But in English, in Spanish, sorry, we had is. For first person we have am. I feel like teaching the kids. So, but in Spanish we had two. En Spanish tenemos el ser y estar. Entonces, then it will be, sería, soy. This will be am. Soy, estoy. Okay, so we had two. And this is the difficult part because you need to know when to use soy y cuando usar, when to use estoy. Oh my god. So in Spanish you use the ser when you're talking about descriptions, when you're describing yourself, occupations, and characteristics, and time as well. And estar is mostly for positions, locations, actions, conditions, and emotions. Then is when you use estoy. So yes, it's different. For example, let me write an example. Okay, yo soy alto. I am tall. But what about estar? Let's say this is number 1, this is number 2. Okay, so this is number 1. Now number 2. I am happy. I am happy. Okay, so you will say yo estoy feliz. So then is when we use. So it is kind of difficult because you have to remember this, when to use ser and when to use estar. So that's why I see so many people that are learning Spanish making this mistake. Like they will say something like yo estoy alto. It can work. In this case, yo estoy alto. Yes, it can work. But with sometimes it won't work. So some people might say yo soy. These are really bad examples. Yo soy feliz también funciona. It also works. Well, let's see another example. So you will say, I am eating. I am eating. Okay. So we know that when we're talking about actions, we use estar. So in this case, you should say, yo estoy. Oh, that's not the one. Yo estoy comiendo. Yes, I am eating, yo estoy comiendo. So it will be a mistake to say yo soy comiendo. Porque in that case, en ese caso, you are talking about descriptions. Yo soy comiendo. That doesn't work. That doesn't exist. So you have to say yo estoy comiendo. And in Spanish, you will say it is. Oh my god. Oh, es. How did I forget that? Está. Like that. You don't have to worry about this though. If you miss it, it's okay. Some people that, in my case, sometimes I forget these things. These are called tildes in Spanish. I don't know what is the name of this in English. But you can forget it, it's okay. Él es al... No, rápido. Rápido. You need to roll your R's. Rápido. So, él es rápido. And for the estar, in that case, we can say he is angry. He is angry. So you will say something like él está enojado. Super nice, right? So thank God in English you don't have this. Because if I had to learn all this in English, it would be really difficult. Okay, now we have R. So R in Spanish is eres. And look how the color changes. This is amazing. I love this marker. And for estar is estás. So as you can see, you only add an S. That's super nice. You only add an S. Tú eres bonito. Tú eres bonito. And then, for the verb estar, you will say, tú estás. Let me see. So we said that estar is for actions, conditions, emotions. Tú estás triste, let's say. I didn't think about anything. So tú estás triste. You are sad. Okay. So basically, that's the way you do it. Third person, yes, they. So it will be ellos. So as well for they, you use are. They are. So, but in this case, we're going to use son. Oh my god, sometimes I forget. Son and están. But how can we... Let me see. I'm going to change this because it's a little bit confusing. I'm going to leave it like that. You will remember. You will remember. They are... Let's go with actions, with verbs. But in this case, we're talking about present progressive. But let's do it. Just to explain how to use ser and estar. So they are cooking. Okay, this is present progressive. So in Spanish, you will say, hey, ellos están comiendo. Oh no, cocinando. Cocinando. There you go. Well, okay, let's go with the occupations. They are teachers. Teachers. So you will say, ellos son maestros. Yes, that's how you're going to do it. Super easy, super easy. Super easy when Spanish is your first language. I know it's confusing, We are, so somos y estamos. So we would say, for example, go with locations. We are at school. So we would say nosotros. En la escuela. Oh my god, that looks horrible. Well, and then this will be estar. And for ser, we are cool. We're going to use that one. We are cool. So in Spanish, you will say, nosotros somos geniales. Yes, there you go. We are cool. Nosotros somos geniales. Basically, in Spanish, we have another word called ustedes. And that is like you all, okay? When you're talking about a group of people. So, but we had, it's not like in English that you had you. You can say you with other people. But in Spanish, when you're talking about to other people, like, I don't know, a group, like 5 people, and I'm giving like a presentation. So in my case, I will say you guys, right? All of you. But in Spanish, you say ustedes. So ustedes, ustedes, ustedes. Let me see. Let me write. You will say something like ustedes son y están. So it's like, it's similar, well, it's the same. It's the same to they. Son and están. It's the same. That's easy. So you will say something like, you guys, it's difficult to explain in English. Actually, I never thought about this. But let's say I'm talking to the chat. So guys, you are amazing. Amazing. So in Spanish you will say, ustedes son asombrosos. There you go, asombrosos. Thank you. Yes, you are, you are. And then for estar, you will say something like, you are, let me think about something. You are watching the stream, okay? You are watching, and we continue. So in Spanish you will say, ustedes están mirando. So, so it is easy because it is the same as they are, and ustedes, right? It's the same. So son, están. That's super easy. So yes, basically that is the verb to be in Spanish. Okay, we're going to start with basic questions. What is your name? Okay, so in this case, you will say, in English, of course, my name is, right? But in this case, in Spanish, the question is, ¿cuál es tu nombre? And in Spanish, we open and close questions. It's not like in English, you just make the question mark at the end. In Spanish, we open and we close the questions. You can forget it, and it's not a big deal, to be honest. I usually don't do it, only if I'm writing like an essay in Spanish or something like a document. But for the everyday, most of people, they don't write this, and they only write the last one. But if you want to be grammatically correct, you can open the question. So, as well with these, las tildes, the tildes. So you can forget them, and it's not a big deal. If you're not going to make something formal, of course. Okay, so basically this. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? As you can see, what is your name? ¿Cuál es tu nombre? So you can say, my name is, mi nombre es. Okay, so let me write it here. In English first. My name is, so en español, in Spanish, mi nombre es. Mi nombre es. So there you can say, mi nombre es Sukuyomi. There you go. So super easy. And also you can say I am, like we do sometimes in English, I am and your name. In that case you will say yo soy. Yo soy, and you go. Yo soy y tu nombre and your name. Let's go with simple verbs, everyday verbs. For example, eat, play, wake up, cook, sleep. I don't know what else. What do you do every day? Work. Oh my god, work. Okay, so here you will say comer, jugar, despertar, cook, cocinar, dormir, trabajar. So we had these verbs, okay? These verbs that we have. These are examples, but this applies for every verb. I think so. I think it applies for every verb. So we had, as you can see, the end of each verb. Ir, are, and all the verbs finish with one of those. Okay, we don't have or. It's only ir, are. So we know that we have verbs that finish in ear, and are. So if the verb in the base form finish in air and ear, you are going to change the verb for it with ear. We are going to ear or air. You are going to change the vowel for this, only this. And you are going to say, where is it? S-E-N. That's it. That's the only thing you need to know. Okay, let's do some examples. So, for example, vivir, to live. Okay, to live. Yo vivo, okay, o. Yo vivo. Tú vives. Él, ella viven. Vive, él, ella vive. Ellos viven, nosotros vivimos. Okay, so as you can see here, we just changed this. O-S-E-N-Os. Okay, this. O-S-E-N-Os. Same, because the verb with ir. Okay, so vivo, vives, vive, viven, vivimos. Easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Beber. To drink. Okay, to drink. So we're going to do the same. Yo bebo. We use the same words before this. Okay, quitamos esto. We take off air and ear. Okay. So, yo bebo. Let me. Tú bebes. Él, ella bebe. This is funny because bebe is also baby, but with a, if you add this, you're saying baby. And if you don't wrote that, you're saying drink. Oh my god, Spanish is the worst. Okay. Él, ella bebe. Ellos beben. Nosotros bebemos. Okay. Actually, we need to add this. Mos. Jugamos, comemos, despertamos, cocinamos. Yes, we need us. Us. Mos. Okay? So, bebemos. Yes, basically that. Also, here's the same. Is it clear? It is easy, right? Super easy. And yes, so this is the difference. Now let's try with verbs that finish with this. And these are the verbs that are more common. The verbs that finish with A and R. As you can see here, we have a lot that finish like that. So basically here, let's look for a verb. Another verb. Spanish, dibujar. Oh my god. Okay, so same. The same thing. The same thing. Let's move it here. The same. Yo dibujo until here because we take off this. Okay, so like this. Yo dibujo. Tú dibujas. Look, us. Us. Él, ella dibuja. Ellos dibujan. Nosotros dibujamos. And there you go. Now you know how to talk in simple present. That's amazing. Now you learned something. You know how to speak in simple present. That was super nice.